Hello there, people of the internet. You'll have to forgive me if you start seeing me do my Florida mosquito dance. We got the bugs coming out. You can hear them screaming down there. But guess what? I feel like coming out and making a video today. So today, I got myself a 6.5 Carcano rifle. I'm sure you guys have seen tons of videos on exactly these, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the history behind the 6.5 Carcano rifle in general. So we're going to start off with the 1891 Carcano rifle, and the reason why I am doing this is because I'm trying to earn my way up to 100,000 subscribers, so I'm making this little video series where I go over all of the stuff inside of my arsenal, trying to earn my way to that point of 100,000 subs. So if you want to help me reach that landmark, then by all means subscribe to the channel. If not, then hopefully I will earn your subscription tomorrow, because I'm trying to put these out every single day. So there's a lot that I'm going to go ahead and just kind of not include, because we would be here all day talking about the true adoption of the 1891. So this right here is an 1891. However, this particular one has been sporterized, as I'm sure the keen eye among you would have noticed. Originally, this right here would have had a longer barrel on it. Somebody before myself got a hold of this thing, and they turned it into a carbine. However, this right here with the straight bolt handle 1918 production, it doesn't fall into the category of any other Carcano I've ever seen. So I've come to the determination that this is a sporterized 1891, and that's just kind of where I'm standing at with it. So at the turn of the late 1800s, early 1900s, right as smokeless powder was being created, countries were already moving into having repeating firearms. Well, now they have to look at smokeless powder for their repeating firearms as well. Otherwise, they will fall behind that belt curve. So basically, every country starts looking at smaller caliber, smaller diameter bullets that are going to be traveling much faster with this new propellant, smokeless powder, which is significantly more capable at propelling projectiles than black powder was. These projectiles would be traveling significantly faster and could travel at significantly greater distances than what black powder originally allowed. So basically, every country was moving to smaller, lighter weight, more powerful, longer range ammunition in comparison to their black powder counterparts that came before them. The Italians were no different. Whereas most countries were leaning into 30 caliber or larger projectiles, the Italians and the Japanese and some other countries were leaning into like a small 6.5 caliber cartridge. Now this right here would originally be a clip with 6 rounds, but I am poor and I have to stretch my ammunition out, so I only have 2 rounds for this thing. The Italians elected to go with the what's it called? The Mannlicher style magazine system, where unlike a Mauser style magazine system where you strip rounds off of a stripper clip into an internal magazine, the clip actually stays with the rounds on the Mannlicher style, and you actually just kind of push these rounds directly into the system themselves, and the clip locks in place inside of the rifle, staying inside of the rifle's internal magazine. And this right here is just what the Italians decided to do with their Carcano system, and every single one of their Carcanos used this system, with the exception of maybe the Italian Arisaka hybrid thing, but we'll cover that in another video. So the Italians have their new 6.5 diameter bullet. I believe during that time period, I can't remember the grains, but they were those old school round nose style of 6.5 Carcano. I can't remember the weight. I think it's a 170 something grain projectile, but I could be wrong on that. But either way, round nose projectile, not traveling very fast. And while other countries were moving on to Spitzer style projectiles, the Italians actually elected to continue to use the original round nose style of 6.5 Carcano. And that makes sense for what it was, because since it's already a smaller diameter bullet, if you need more mass inside of that cartridge, the best way to get it is to have more mass spread out, because you can't increase the diameter, so you have to increase one way or the other. So increase the contour of the bullet to make it a round nose, add mass there, or you increase the length of the bullet to add mass there. There's not really much else that you can do to increase the mass of your projectile without adding materials that were heavier than lead, and lead is already a very dense, very heavy material. But the Italians kind of took the playbook out of everyone else's rules, or the rules out of everyone else's playbook, and they adopted a nice, long, full-sized rifle with a pretty mild shooting cartridge. The 6.5 Carcano is not a very powerful round. This particular case, I have hand loads, and I have 140 grain projectiles. They're going to be traveling at about 2,000 or so feet per second. But I don't know how fast or the velocities of the original 6.5 Carcano military loading. I apologize for that. But I imagine that it was probably somewhere around that ballpark. Like I said, the Italians kept that round nose style bullet even after other countries were moving into Spitzer style cartridges. Now, the original Italian Carcanos did use a gain twist barrel, and what that is as the barrel gets longer, or as the length of the barrel, how am I trying to describe this? Where the chamber is and starts, the twist rate is going to be different than the very end of the barrel, and that is done to try and protect the bullet from coming apart. This was just because of poor manufacturing prospects during that particular time period. Bullet production was not all that great, and to try to stop the jacket from separating from the core of the bullet, the Italians figured that they would go ahead and start the twist rate up nice and slow and just slowly progress as it came out of the barrel. There are some carbine versions of the Carcano later on where the Italians just cut off the end of the barrel, so as a result you didn't get a proper twist rate from that rifle, and as a direct result of that, accuracy diminished significantly, especially out at longer distances. This right here being an 1891 pattern that has been sporterized with that cut down barrel, this should have that gain twist rifling that's been cut down, so I imagine at long distances this will probably not be that accurate. That being said, my car is like 40 yards away, so we're gonna have absolutely zero problems dealing with that. I don't think that there's much else to add for the 1891 long rifle, so we're gonna go ahead and I got a couple of rounds here. We're going to send a couple of these rounds downrange. I'm still trying to gauge how accurate this particular Carcano is, because this one being sporterized, the crown job on it, not that great. I'm gonna have to go ahead, take it out, paper test it, see if we have any rounds that tumble. And if we do, then luckily the previous owner volunteered to get me a crown job done to it. So I don't really have a particular target that I'm aiming for out there. I'm just gonna go ahead and aim for, I don't know, the engine bay area of the car. Let's see if this thing fires. Yep, she sure did fire. Now, whenever I cycle this round out, I'm going to pay attention to where it goes because it's reloadable. So whenever I cycle this last round into the chamber, the clip will actually fall out of the bottom of the magazine, which is what the Mannlicher style is supposed to do. Get out of there. All right, well, this particular one is a little old and grody, but it's supposed to, there we go, it's supposed to fall out of the bottom of the magazine just like that, land on the ground. Those are supposed to be disposable, but nowadays they're very much not because they're like $8 a piece. So you got to pay attention to where those things are. Okay, I don't have a target still. Well, I aimed for the engine bay. Let's just aim for the trunk area of the car, I guess. Yep, we hit the trunk area of the car down there. Fantastic. And now we're going to cycle this again. And there we go. There is the 1891 Carcano. And this particular one is sporterized, but it was a pretty gosh darn good sporterization. It really does look like a carbine. I really like this thing. So thanks for watching, folks. I do appreciate your time. I think I've pretty much covered everything like in a nutshell without really going in depth to reasons why or trials or anything like that for the 1891. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the video here because it's hot and the sun is setting and we got mosquitoes coming out and I am drenched in sweat. Thanks for watching, folks. I do appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and hopefully this video inspired you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you learned something about the Carcano system. These are being imported right now into the country, basically en masse. So if you wanted to learn about the system, then this right here was the video for you. There are all sorts of different models that we're going to be checking out here on this channel because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 or 7 different models that we're going to be checking out. And I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to be around for that, go ahead and be around for that. But besides that, I'll see you all in the next one. since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Gary. It's a shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.